Have you ever thought about what people saw when they looked at the sky in ancient times? For us today, clouds are just clouds, but for them, the sky was the playground of the gods. In the scorching heat of Mesopotamia, in the ancient land stretching between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, people noticed a shadow. This was not an ordinary cloud shadow. No, this shadow was moving as if deliberately, intentionally circling above the city, and everyone who saw that shadow felt the same thing. A deep fear that froze their insides, penetrating to their very bones. Because that shadow was Nergal's shadow. Nergal, even hearing this name ignited the fear within them. Mighty as a lion, eyes crimson as fire, a power that shook the earth with every step. But you know, Nergal was not just a god of destruction, he was much more complex. After every disaster came a balance. After every death came a new beginning. One day, the chaos among people grew so great that even the heavens could not bear it. Thefts, betrayals, blood feuds. Cities were literally devouring themselves. And Nergal looked down from above, watching the people for a long time. Finally, his patience ran out and he descended to the world to restore order. Nergal did not come alone. He would never come alone. With him were the 7 Sebiti, 7 demonic warriors, 7 heralds of disaster. With their poisonous breaths and sky-darkening wings, they descended to earth. And at that moment, everything changed. First, a hot wind struck the fields. Then that wind turned to flames. Wheat stalks were burning, green leaves turning to ash. People rushed from their homes, looking up to the sky in desperation. "Nergal, O mighty Nergal, have mercy," they cried out. But Nergal's wrath had only just begun. The city walls cracked. Houses were razed to the ground. Some fled, some fell to their knees, begging for forgiveness. And then, when the disaster reached its peak, suddenly everything stopped. Because Nergal's purpose was not just to destroy. It was to bring order, to create a new beginning from within chaos. Behind every destruction was a lesson. At the end of every disaster was a rebirth. Now a question for you. Should true justice be like this? Merciless but ultimately balanced. Now it's your turn. Write your thoughts in the comments. But Nergal's story doesn't end here. On the contrary, now we come to the real turning point. In the depths of the world, there was a dark realm where light never reached. Kur, the Underworld. And the queen of that world, Ereshkigal, was as cold as she was beautiful, as dangerous as she was intelligent. Mistress of the dead, keeper of silence. One day, a great feast was held among the gods. All the gods in heaven were invited, but Ereshkigal, queen of the Underworld, could not come up. The rules were such, she was condemned to darkness. So, she sent an emissary. And at that feast, Nergal made a mistake. He did not show the proper respect to Ereshkigal's emissary, perhaps intentionally, perhaps from anger. Who can know? When Ereshkigal heard this, she became furious with rage. "Nergal will come to the Underworld," she commanded, "and he will pay the price for this insolence." As Nergal descended to the Underworld, he had to pass through 7 gates. At each gate, he left something behind, losing his power. At the first gate, his crown. At the second, his weapon. At the third, his armor. Step by step, he was being stripped bare, not just physically but spiritually as well. When he finally stood before Ereshkigal, the two gods looked at each other. In Ereshkigal's eyes was the coldness of death. In Nergal's eyes, a burning fire. The queen was waiting to punish him, but Nergal did something unexpected. He advanced toward her throne, seized her, and pulled her down from the throne. For a moment, all the underworld held its breath. What kind of courage was this? What kind of insolence? But then, something strange happened. Something changed between the two gods. Was it anger or something else? 7 days and 7 nights, no one knows what they discussed. But finally, Nergal made a decision. He had to return. He had to ascend to the sky. Nergal escaped from the underworld. Using all his strength, he passed through those 7 gates upward, running toward the light. He attained freedom. But the freedom he thought he had actually became another prison, because there was an emptiness inside him, a void. He missed Ereshkigal's dark realm, her mysterious eyes, that deep silence. Ereshkigal was feeling the same pain. She sat on her throne, weeping silently. The queen of the realm of the dead was tasting the true pain of loneliness for the first time. Finally, she could bear it no longer and sent an emissary. If Nergal does not return, I will send all the dead upward. The world will be filled with the dead. When Nergal heard this threat, he smiled, because he had found the excuse he was looking for. He returned, passed through the 7 gates again. But this time, it was different. This time, he was coming not as a warrior, but as a spouse. When he stood before Ereshkigal, the queen rose from her throne. The two gods looked at each other, and at that moment, the dark realm filled with light. A metaphorical light, of course. The light of love, of balance, of union. Nergal's legend doesn't really end here. He is reborn in every generation, in every search for justice, in every balance, in every new beginning. He is still there, watching us. And perhaps right now, a shadow in the sky is his shadow. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us as we uncover more forgotten legends.